Omaima Ari Nelson. To authorities, 21-year-old Omaima Ari Nelson did not fit the profile of a killer. The Egyptian-born beauty had dark black hair, olive skin, big brown eyes, with a slim build. She was accused of committing the most gruesome murder in the history of Orange County, California. Nor could they believe their ears when she made the comment, "Nothing tastes as good as the man I married. It's the sauce that does it." Seeking a better life. Omaima was born 1968, exact date unknown, and moved to the United States in the early 1980s. She always wanted to live the California lifestyle. For her, it would be a chance to leave behind her life in Egypt, where she had been victimized. As part of her culture, she experienced genital mutilation and had been sexually assaulted twice by different men. In October of 1991, Omaima went to a bar and met 56-year-old William Nelson, who was playing pool. Nelson was a large man, standing 6'4" and over 220 pounds. He was attracted to the exotic beauty, as were other men. Within days, the two got married. The newlyweds moved to Costa Mesa, a city within Orange County, where they rented an apartment. A relationship gone bad. Omaima soon found her marriage unraveling as William began to reveal his abusive side. He assaulted her multiple times. Whenever he forced himself on her or acted violently, she relived her memories from her past. He also expected her to participate in bondage and other fetishes. He would have her tie him up and perform sexual acts on him. Not only was she receiving abuse, but she was also expected to administer it to her husband. Before meeting William, Omaima had a boyfriend named Robert Hansen, who was from Huntington Beach. They had separated in 1990. He had also wanted her to engage in bondage with him. In 1991, the tension between Omaima and William reached a climax on Thanksgiving Day. William assaulted her again. Additionally, he threw her kitten out the window of his red Corvette while driving. Upon entering their apartment, Omaima was hysterical when she stopped herself. She did not want to take any chances of William unleashing his temper on her again. To please him, she acted as though she was sexually interested in him. She seductively asked him if she could tie him up, which he quickly agreed to. Dressed to kill. She tied up her husband, making sure his arms and legs were secure to the bed frame. Seeing him restrained before her did not do much for her sense of safety. She experienced the same feelings of terror she'd experienced when she had been subjected to genital mutilation. She did not know it, but she was experiencing post-traumatic stress disorder. Like many abused women, she feared her husband, but felt trapped. It was at that moment she snapped. Reaching for the clothing iron, she bludgeoned him with it, causing him to yell out in pain. She hit him several more times with it, yelling and cursing at him the whole time. As her rage continued to grow, she grabbed a pair of scissors and stabbed him with them repeatedly. She had to stop her assault to catch her breath. Staring at William's bloodied and lifeless body, she realized she had a problem. What was she going to do with him now? She went to the kitchen, grabbed a large knife and a cleaver, and returned to the bedroom. With a sense of determination, she proceeded to decapitate and dismember her husband's body. For her small size, it was an excruciating task, but she managed to do it. She felt like she was outside herself, as she became further detached from reality. Calmly, she took his head, placed it in a pot, and turned on the stove. When his head was cooked, she placed it in the refrigerator. Omaima placed his hands in another pot and cooked them in oil to burn away his fingerprints. She used the garbage disposal to eliminate any remaining body parts that would fit, including his genitals, after she'd castrated him. Throughout the night, her neighbors heard her garbage disposal running. Unbeknownst to her neighbors, her garbage disposal was being fed an ongoing supply of body parts from her Thanksgiving turkey and her husband. She placed additional body parts in a suitcase and the freezer. There was a part of his body that she had special plans for, his ribs. While his ribs baked in the oven, she went to her bedroom to change. She put on a red hat, red shoes, and red lipstick. When she heard the oven timer go off, she took out his ribs and ate her grisly dinner. She would later state they were just like the ribs prepared in a restaurant. There were still body parts that were too large for her to handle. On December 2nd, she called a friend of hers and offered to pay him to eliminate the rest of her husband. Her friend agreed to help her. However, he notified the police instead. The police arrested her at home on the same day. An excuse to kill? On February 21st, Omaima appeared in Orange County Superior Court. She was charged with first-degree murder and pleaded innocent. She was also charged with assault on Hansen when she'd held him at gunpoint. During the trial, her attorney testified she was psychotic at the time of the murder. He stated that her husband's abuse had triggered her extreme behavior. The jury deliberated for 6 days and found her guilty of second-degree murder. She is serving 28 years to life at the Central California Women's Facility in Chowchilla, California. In 2011, she was denied parole for a second time.
For more of these fascinating stories and true crimes, subscribe to Charles Arness World. Thanks for watching.
So, Dre responded. Never mind then. Gold nowadays can't recall the occasion when Dre initially used the term, but it first appeared in print on March 25, 1989, when Los Angeles Times pop music critic Robert Hilburn described an NWA concert in Anaheim. Ice-T, who helped popularize the LA gangster rap image, was the
For more of these fascinating stories and true crimes, subscribe to Charles Arness World. Thanks for watching.
Travis Sandman Elliott had this to say. You asked me what it meant to me, Crippin'. It took me a minute, but we could have been blood. Sir 13s, Moondogs, shit, even GDs, gangster disciples. Honestly, it was our love and loyalty, our friendship bonds that have lasted 20 plus years. Our hood was never bigger than us, if you know what I'm trying to say. He continued, Crippin' ain't easy, but damn sure fun.
For more of these fascinating stories and true crimes, subscribe to Charles Arness World. Thanks for watching.
I went to jail so many times that my brother told my mother I was doing it on purpose. An OG gangster told me in the streets one day, "You're too sensitive for crime. You gotta be born with this." I often think that if my heart had been just a little bit colder, I would have stayed back there, and I would have died there in the streets. Maybe you can tell from the
For more of these fascinating stories and true crimes, subscribe to Charles Arness World. Thanks for watching.